Hello patrons, and welcome to the monthly exclusive Patreon video for June 2016. This is the video intended for everyone who pledged to my Patreon, I guess I have to specify now, my Patreon in the month of June 2016. Normally you guys get these videos on the 2nd, but unfortunately this is a little bit late. I'm recording this on the 3rd to be delivered to you on the 4th. So happy Independence Day to all of our American patrons. I do apologize if this is getting to you a little late, but things have been crazy. You probably already knew that because vlogs are still behind, even though they're not like as far behind as they were, but they're still behind. And live streaming never actually got started, so you already knew that June was probably really nuts. Let's talk about what happened in June, shall we? So the first thing on the list is that school ended and Mao officially resigned. And we talked about that last month. It was probably the biggest Patreon month that we've had, just in terms of, well, I guess the biggest information reveal, and then also probably more comments on that video than any other Patreon video so far. I wanted to go ahead and say now that in the past month, since that last video, so much has changed. Mal is completely different, which I don't want to say like completely, she's a different person, who is she? But she is back to her old self. She is happy, she's joyful. There is like such a change like from how she was. It's incredible, because now all she needs to really focus on is something that makes her truly happy. Like she doesn't have kids screaming obscenities at her or threatening to kill her or dealing with administration, or like, it's just, I can focus on this thing. I can focus on my passion, and I can paint and do this. She's been...
This is not me faking
it. I think another cool thing is that she's had so much energy because she's been getting, for the most part, adequate sleep.
Besides the last week. The
last week and a half, week or two, things have been really nuts, and we've been a little wishy-washy, but otherwise, adequate sleep and feeling energized enough to like want to just do other things. Like Mao has cooked lunch, like made lunches for us in the day, which is really awesome. Kind of forgot what that was like, but it's really awesome. She's like cleaned up the house and done all the stuff because she'll spend some time painting and then she'll just feel like doing more stuff. So things are completely different. And I just wanted to kind of start this off by saying thank you to all of the support, because not only have you guys supported us for a long time and have continued to support us, but there were so many people that after we released the video last month, people just upped their pledges. Like, new rewards didn't even exist, and there were a bunch of people that just increased their pledge amounts. And I want you to know that I noticed that, and I appreciate it sincerely. It was very, very nice.
And I wanted to say, like, we released the video, and I was reading through the comments, and they really meant a lot to me.
Yes.
And that's kind of what actually got me to go sit at my computer and write my letter of resignation, because I actually hadn't done that yet. So,
yeah.
I just kind of took all your guys' comments to heart and wrote my letter. So, thank you for that.
Yeah, Mao, actually, I'm sure a lot of you know this too that left comments, but Mao actually replied to a lot of those comments personally. She went through and she like signed her name. So for some of you that left comments, you may have gotten replies from both myself and Mao, because she actually went through and read them all. And it's true, it was kind of a source of strength for her, because that's what she used to write her resignation. So yeah, you guys are awesome. Just wanted to start this video off by saying that, because we appreciate it. Now, let's move into other stuff that happened in June. Business stuff got set up. I think we told you last month or the month before that we had worked on getting the LLC set up. And with that, there was more headache than I could have ever really imagined. We had to be requested to be taxed a certain way. We had to start getting business licenses for stuff, because we had to get like state license and county license. Specifically, like we actually, from what our accountant said, we actually kind of need them anyway, but specifically we were getting them because of Mao, because if Mao sells a painting, and this is very specific, but if Mao sells a painting on eBay and someone in South Carolina buys it, then she needs to be able to collect sales tax to give to the state. Has that happened yet? No. None of the paintings we've sold have been won by anyone in South Carolina, but technically she has to have those licenses, so like we've been going through that, and that has been
And before we
crazy.
had them, we had to go through zoning.
Yes. Oh my God. Our place of business is not this apartment. Our place of business is my parents' house because eventually we're going to move, and my parents are where they are, and they're going to be there for a while. So until we get a house and I can update it and say, yeah, we live here, we just made our place of business their house, which is fine and legal, but we had to have them sign a thing that said that we could do that and it was okay with them, and then we had to get them to sign it in front of a notary and then get it notarized, and it was like...
And then that went off. So we did that so we could do the business license for the county.
Yes.
We haven't done that yet because we're waiting on zoning.
Yeah. Not to mention, like, there's enough headaches with that alone. There were so many headaches moving over where, ad revenue for YouTube, moving that over and moving, like, shirt sale, all that stuff, trying to move that into, like, the new business accounts has been dauntingly hard. In fact, one of them, specifically, Google, which you would assume would be the easiest thing, was the hardest, to the point where I was, like, screaming at 3 in the morning and ripping my hair out, and it took hours to do. It's so bad that I devoted an entire vlog to it, so be on the lookout for that. It's a really great little story about how Google is crazy, and
Held together with duct tape.
Held it together with duct tape, and it's a wonder I was able to do what I needed to do. Really spectacular, trying to move AdSense from individual to business. Wow. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the other stuff. As far as Let's Plays go, The Walking Dead finished, and also the 400 Days DLC. I had a ton of fun with it, and I know you really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to get back into it. Fun little fact, my parents watched it, and we didn't tell them, we had been telling them about it, and tell them to watch it, and they finally got around to watching it like a week or two ago, and they binge watch stuff bad, like they just like eat all of it, and they started a week or two ago, probably a week ago, and they got through it at the same time that the last episode came out, and my parents really liked it, and I knew they would.
They were kind of tired of the show because the show's kind of stagnated.
Yeah, and they watched the entire Let's Play, and my mom was like, "Well, when's the next part coming out?" And I'm like, "Well, I've been looking at the calendar, and it looks like it's probably going to come out in maybe September." And she goes, "No, no, no, why? Well, it can't." And I told her, I said, actually, I said, when it comes out in September, there's only going to be 2 episodes a week. And she goes, no, no. And she just starts going on. And I'm like, I'm sorry. She's like, you should have never told me to start watching. And I'm like, what?
Now we're hooked on it.
She's like, now we're hooked on it. I was like, well, it is a complete story. I mean, it's a complete thought. She goes, I know, but there's more, isn't there? It follows Clementine? And I'm like, it does. And she goes, and I'm like, okay, Mom, I'm sorry. It will come out in September. You'll just have to be patient.
Sorry, that was a really good, imitation.
That was exactly
how it went.
Exactly. She was really upset, but it was cool because they really I knew they would.
How come every Patreon video I cry?
You just cry for different reasons.
I know.
Anyway, they really enjoyed.
They
really enjoyed The Walking Dead. So, also Assassin's Creed Revelations and the DLC finished, which is good. Honestly, for the entire thing, maybe not the DLC so much. I kind of felt meh about Revelations. It had nothing to do with the game. It had nothing to do with my commentary or like how I felt that I did. It had everything to do with the pacing. 80% of the game is side quests, and only 20%, or even like 10%, I don't know, is story. And historically through the games, I've just kind of like bounced back and forth between stuff, like side missions and main quests through Assassin's Creed 1, 2, and Brotherhood. But in Revelations, there was so little story that I ended up doing a lot of side missions and I feel like it really threw the pacing of the Let's Play off. It was fine to play as a game, but as a Let's Play, I feel like it was very, very different from the past games, and it was just because that was the way the game was. It was like I would do a story mission, and then I would have to do quite a bit of side missions to make sure that we weren't, getting ahead. And like, That's okay in Fallout, because Fallout side missions are just as interesting, if not more, than like main quests. So that doesn't bother me. But in Assassin's Creed, it can be a little different. So I'm starting to try and think of new ways I could approach Assassin's Creed 3, which we'll probably play next year. I'm thinking that there's a good possibility that I may actually have episodes separate or something. I'm not sure. I'm still working it out, but there may be like story episodes where it's just story. So I'll figure that out later. Also, Uncharted 4 started, which is fantastic. Side note, Mallory actually started playing through Uncharted.
I finished 1 in like 2 days.
Yeah, Mal got through Uncharted. That game is a lot shorter than I remember. Holy crap. Also, she did better than me. I remember parts that I struggled with in my Let's Play of Uncharted, and she got through it with no problem. And I'm like, really? I don't know if they... Like, I don't think they changed anything. I think it's the same game. I think you're just better than I was.
I'd like to think so.
You probably are. So she played through Uncharted 1, and over time she's going to try and get through 2, 3, and then once I finish 4, she'll play through 4. But 4 is great. Really like 4. It's a lot of fun, and from what I've played so far, I already think it's the best one. So, and I've played very, very little. Other things. We released a video earlier this week, about a week ago, where we talked about new stuff on Patreon. There's new tiers, specifically a new tier here. We have the $10 tier, which gives you access to the Wall of Appreciation, where you can kind of leave a short message, and we've had a lot of people fill that out, which is nice. And also Discord, which is the chat server. So I wanted to quickly mention now, and this goes for some other stuff as well. If you changed your pledge, you need to select the reward, or it won't show up. Just to get that out there. Like, if you are at the $5 reward and you increase your pledge to $20, it doesn't give you those other rewards. And
you have to manually do it. It's not automatic.
And there's nothing I can do on my end to make that work. So if you want to increase your pledge, that's totally cool, and we very much appreciate it. Just make sure that you change your reward, which I think you can do on the main page or something like that. Just change it, because that's how you get access to that stuff. As a side note, anyone who selects the $20 reward, we will automatically use your Patreon username to put in the list of, like, producer list that we put on, like, Let's Plays and stuff. If you want to change that, I think it's the first post on our Patreon, so you have to go back in time and look at the old ones. You can leave a comment there, and that's how I will update your thing, just so you know. Otherwise, make sure you select the correct reward tier. But yeah, Discord is awesome. I've been really enjoying it, being able to like hang out with people and talk when I have time, and it's been fun to interact with people on there. Also, Mal launched Patreon, which was the other part of that video. If you haven't checked it out, go give it a look. Patreon.com/Malmix.
I think so. Probably.
Is the Patreon. A lot of the reward tiers are kind of like the mirrored version of ours, so you can get your name on her videos and her special wall thing. Her $5 tier is a lot different than ours, though, because we do these videos. She's actually doing an entire feed of like behind the scenes looks at stuff.
Behind the scenes. The final picture went out to my Patreon people before the video came out.
Yeah, so just a bunch of behind the scenes photos and work in progress and stuff, which is really cool. And she also has a physical tier. So I know that we explained all this in that video a week ago, but I also know that some people didn't see that, so I would go watch that video because it explains things a little better. But yeah, check out her Patreon if you get a chance, especially if you're interested in getting physical rewards, because that's a thing. And then finally, the final thing I wanted to talk about was the Discord server, which we share. No matter if you pledge $10 to either her or myself, it gets you into the Discord server. Originally, my plan was that it would be something that would be open to the public, and that patrons would have like a special place in that. But since we've had it up and running now for about a week, and I've popped my head in and out of there and had conversations and stuff, and I'm gonna be honest, I kind of like it the way it is. I kind of like it private, and I want that decision to be made not by us. I want that to be made by you guys. So here's what I'm proposing. Let's take a month and just see how we feel. continue to use Discord, have fun on Discord. We'll be checking in on Discord and chatting with you guys as well. And let's just take a month, and next month in August's video, or July's video, or whatever I'm calling it, let's check back in and see how you guys feel. And find out if you want to keep Discord exclusively for patrons, period, or if you want to open it up to the public and have patrons just have their like
Special room.
That kind of thing. Don't feel bad, by the way. Don't feel like greedy or anything if you want to keep it just for patrons, because honestly, that's kind of how I'm feeling. The only thing that concerns me is right now, everyone on Patreon is awesome. So everyone on Discord is awesome. There's like no problems. There will not be any problems because everyone's just, has great temperament. It's just awesome people because you guys are great. And it's also manageable because there's not a ton of people on there. If we open it up to the general public, there could very well overnight be hundreds, if not 1,000 or more people to show up, and it could get ugly.
It could get very ugly.
We brought on a staff of moderators in the event that we went public with it. We have really great staff, the same people from Stephen Craft on there. So if we go public, I'm sure that they will do a great job, but I guarantee you that the feel of Discord will probably change. That's my concern. It's also something we could think about in the future too. Like if you guys decide in August that you don't want it to be open, I'm totally cool with that. And if you decide in 6 months, hey, maybe let's open it now, that's okay too. But, something to think about, something to talk about. Next up, what's happening in July? The first thing is that Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, after months or years of not being able to come out due to a bunch of
problems,
YouTube /copyright /Nintendo /Wii problems, we finally got all that worked out, long story short, and it launches. In fact, since it's July 4th, it launches today. I will apologize and also say you're welcome for the first episode's length. It is 42 minutes long, which is longer than we normally release episodes, but I was trying to decide how to do it, and I thought about how this was going to be blind, and I wasn't really sure if it was going to work out well for trying to figure out exactly 20 minutes. So I decided we would just do 3 episodes, or 3 levels an episode, because there's 63, so that means there'd be 21 episodes. Seems good. 3 levels an episode. Unfortunately, with the intro and the cutscene and all that stuff on the first episode, that made the first episode 42 minutes long. So,
oops.
Yeah, just if you're into that, cool, enjoy it. And if it's too long, then rest assured that the rest of the episodes will be a little shorter. Although, just in general, I think all the episodes are going to be over 20 minutes. Probably 20 to 30 minutes each. So, it's going to be a longer episode series, but
yeah,
we'll probably need that time to not completely lose the game. Also happened in July, just a few days ago, Lindsay moved here. We'd been talking about that, but she lives here now. She is not very far away. It probably takes 3 or 4 minutes to walk over there.
Yeah.
So you'll be seeing a lot more of her, I'm sure. Austin is getting married. I know that I had mentioned that before, but his bachelor party was a few days ago, which is one of the many reasons that my sleep schedule is screwed up. He gets married this Saturday or Friday. That's something the best man should probably know. Whoops. His rehearsal dinner's on Thursday. I think he gets married Friday. Yeah, so he gets married this week, and that's... Whoa. He already asked me... He's specifically requested that I film, as much as possible. Or Mal, because I'll be in the wedding. But he said, yeah, we'd really love to get as much as possible. And I was like, yeah, okay. No problem, I can do that. So we're going to be filming a lot. Anyway, it's exciting. I haven't written the best man speech I should probably write.
Yeah.
I need to sit down and do that, because otherwise it's going to be night before. And oh God, we played a game once. Anyway, just one time.
You guys were born in 2 rooms across from each other in the hospital, 2 days apart.
3 days apart.
3 days apart.
Yeah, Austin and I have always been very close, so I should probably come up with a good speech. Next up, Four Swords is coming out. Back in October, I went to Atlanta, Georgia to hang out with Emil, Tim, and John and record Zelda Four Swords Adventures for the Runaway Guys channel. That is finally coming out.
It exists.
It exists. In fact, let me show you how much it exists. Here, I don't know. I'm probably not allowed to do this. Just don't tell Emil. So yeah, this is actually the first episode. I think in a minute it comes up and shows how the overlay works, because I wanted you guys to see that. There we go. So that's like the overlay, and I think I feel like objectively that's probably the best way to do that. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to show that off because I was pretty proud of that. But that's the way the video looks, and it was supposed to come out in late June, and it didn't.
He must have had a busy June too.
Well, he had a busy June, and also he told me that this took a lot longer to
bet.
work on than he thought. But he sent me the full first episode like 5 days ago, and
Yeah.
I watched through it, and I was like, dude, this is good. I'm really excited for this to come out because it's really funny. We all have very different personalities and styles of humor.
Yeah, you do.
Like Emil, Tim, and John all have different styles of humor, and then my style of humor is even different from theirs. It probably closest aligns to John's, but still different from John's.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's really good, and I'm excited for it to come out. But that should be out, I think it comes out this Saturday, actually. So, very soon. And then finally, in July, we're traveling to Camp Fangamer, and I think I mentioned it last month, but we're going to start by going to LA and spending some time with Alex and Haley, and then riding with them to Tucson. And I know that some of you, at least, are going to be at Camp Fangamer. I know I've spoken to you either on both Discord or Patreon or both, and I'm super excited. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen. I don't know anything about it. I've talked to Jeff, who's kind of heading it up, but all I really know is that he's crazy, because he's just crazy, and it's going to be Mother 3 themed, and those combined, it's going to be crazy. I saw they posted on Fangamer's like Twitter account or something, the bandanas.
Yeah.
They made
they're
like
so cool.
Mr. Saturn bandanas, and I'm like, whoa, those are awesome. So I don't know what's in store, but I know it's going to be a really good time. And I also know that vlogs won't get super behind because of that event.
Because you're not going to do the whole live stream.
I'm not going to cut the entire live stream like I did last year. I'm just going to film what I film, and whatever I film is what I'll include. That's the plan. So that trip specifically is July 22nd to August 1st. So that's probably the most we'll be gone the entire summer, actually.
Maybe.
Like 10 days, I think. Yeah, because for ChefCon it's not going to be that long. So yeah. Where that's the longest we're going to be gone is pretty much the end of July. And that finally brings us to some future stuff. First off, let's address the elephant in the room. Live streaming did not start, and I really, honestly, truly believed that I would be able to start doing that at the end of June, and it just never happened. And there's a variety of things that contributed to it not happening. A lot of it had to do with getting set up with some business stuff and spending a lot more time on that than I thought it was going to take. And then a lot of stuff was just like real life stuff that popped up, and I was very upset that we could not get that started, because I know that it won't happen in July. That's why I think I'm most upset, is that there's too much happening at the end of July, and we're at this point just kind of building up to get vlogs caught up and get ahead in Let's Play so we can go to Camp Fangamer. And what?
Paintings.
And paintings. You have to get caught up a little bit in paintings. So with all that, live streaming is going to have to once again just be pushed over to the side, which is another reason why we changed the tiers, because I think last month we were talking about one of the tiers would possibly be like a chat bonus for the live stream, and that's one of the reasons we changed it to Discord, because Discord is something that just, it's kind of its own thing. We can pop in and talk, and you guys can just always benefit from it. Whereas the chat thing relies on us doing live streams, and we did not do a live stream, and that was one of the things that got me thinking, like, okay, let's wait. Let's just wait and see how this all goes. So live streaming is not canceled in any way. It's still something we want to do, but also I refuse to begin until we are caught up and I feel safe where we are being caught up. Because that would be the worst thing ever, to start doing that and also still be trying to juggle all this stuff. That's not a good way to jump into it. We work a lot. Not a surprise to you guys. You guys know more than anyone else, but we do a lot of stuff, so we have to be very careful as we move into live streaming. So I'm going to say that August is going to be the prime month for that. We should be able to get caught up pretty quickly once we get back from Camp Fangamer in LA for vlogs. And then otherwise, we are going nowhere in August. We're not traveling in August.
No.
So that's going to be the prime month to try and, if we're going to do live streaming, at least start just to test some stuff. I mean, not even make it not even do a schedule thing, just to start testing some stuff to get a feel for how to do it. August, hopefully. Now, the other thing is that there's a lot of stuff that I've been sitting on for a long time. I've got, the GTA Online heists, mini golf that we filmed, Broken Picture Phone episodes, several episodes. You're in the Movies that we filmed with Alex and Haley.
There's another one we talked about filming last week.
Yeah, and there's some other Steven and Friends stuff that we want to film. That is all stuff that I'm also going to try and, assuming I can get caught up, start pushing out in August. I don't want to sit on stuff, basically. Who does? Who wants to just sit on material forever? I want that stuff to come out. So I'm going to really focus on that. Now, the question is that going to take precedent or live streaming? I don't know. I'm feeling probably the stuff I'm sitting on, but we'll see what happens. I'd also really like to get Magic Duels DLC out in August. That's something that just can't come out in July. It's going to be too busy, but if I can, I'll try and get that out in August. I'd like to. So you're probably saying, well, that's definitely too much stuff for August. No, you're not wrong. That is too many things, but that's all the stuff that is on my mind that I need to get done. And we'll see what I can get done while also balancing keeping vlogs caught up, making episodes of Mail and Q&A, and then keeping up with 17 videos a week on Steven Plays. We'll see what happens, but I don't know yet. Finally, as far as like travel in the future, ChefCon, going to see Chaz and Jeff in Indiana, is going to be happening in September this year, which is a little different. Because Mal's not going back to school. She was pretty much the reason we were having it in August, was, so we could go before you had to go back to school. Mm-hmm. So now everyone's like, well, let's just do it over Labor Day. And we're like, okay, so that's going to be happening during Labor Day. Then also I say maybe, but it's probably a yes. We'll probably definitely be going to Wisconsin this year, because the last time we went was Christmas 2013. It's been almost 3 years since Mal has been home, and it's the year to go back. Like, it's just been too long. Also, Mark and Rhonda might be coming for Thanksgiving, because they did 2 years ago.
They've been throwing it around.
They did it 2 years ago,
They really want to go
right?
see Brooke Green for 1,000 Candles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
So they are considering coming back. And then finally, Alex and Haley are highly considering visiting for New Year's. Yep. So during New Year's, they might be back. And that's kind of all of the future travel stuff. Now, the good news is most of the travel is pretty light. So I feel like if we can get caught up and just keep caught up with the vlogs, then we can probably do live streaming, and it should be okay. And once again, we're not going anywhere in August. In September, we're going to go to Indiana and back, which shouldn't be gone too terribly long. We may be going to Wisconsin in like October.
Yeah.
But then after that, if anything's happening, people are visiting us, and I think we'll be able to handle things okay. Hopefully, that's the hope. I mean, once again, you guys know better than anyone else that we make a lot of content, and we will continue to make a lot of content. But we want to live stream. I mean, I feel like it'd be a lot of fun, and I feel like it'd be something that we would be good at. It's just I refuse to jump into it before we're ready. Like, we have got to have our ducks in a row before we do it, because I feel like I would drown. And I feel like right now I do a pretty good job treading water, but I don't want to drown in live streaming. So just being very careful. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and obviously for supporting us. Thank you so much for everyone who not only has pledged and continued to pledge, but last month saw that video and said, I'm going to help you even further. We really appreciate that. Just as a reminder, make sure you've selected the correct reward, so you are actually getting the reward that you signed up for. Because if you're the $5 tier and you have upped it to 10, if you choose the $10 reward, that's where you actually get the Discord access and the wall and things like that. So just making sure that you got that under control. Otherwise, thank you again, and we'll be back next month for another video. If you have any questions or want to talk about anything, leave it down below, and I will get to it and respond. And otherwise, I'll see you guys on Discord, which is super cool. and I'm really excited.
I've been hanging out on Discord.
Mao's been on there even more than I have, and I feel like I've been doing pretty good. I've been busy lately, but there's a patron room on there, so if you guys want to discuss the Patreon video, you can actually do it there too, and I'll try and stop in and answer any questions there too if you guys have them. All right, we're done. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next month for another Patreon video.